Hola, everyone. This is Feng Yi. I'm from Taiwan, and I'm going to present a model of sustainable development. From the readings, we have known about three models: a nested circles model, a overlapping circles model, and a Mickey Mouse one. I'm not going to talk about Mickey Mouse because for me, the three parts are part away, so I just talk about the first two. Um, the nested circle for me is an ideal one, but I don't think it's a main trend at this moment in the world because the outer environment is so big and the core is economic, but I don't think for most people they concern so much about the environment. So I don't think it's gonna be worked out. And the second one, overlapping, it contains three parts of them. It's a main pillar of sustainable of development, but sustainable development is only here when they three of them overlapped. So for me, it's not enough. Then we have the donut model. But before we're going to talk about donut model, we can take a look at sustainable stage of development. So there are three concerns. The economic concern, how fast the cake grow, and social parts, who is the cake. It's a justice about and rights. And environmental concern is about how long the cake lasts. So we have to maintain to care about these three parts, then we can continue our discussion. So finally, there is another donut, which may be perfect. It's called donut model, and the outer part is ecological ceiling. We have a lot of problem, and the inner part, as long as we can stay, can keep the social foundation, and we have food, health, education, every parts. Then we have safe and justice peace for humanity and economy. As long as we stay safe in this circle, then maybe we won't break the ecological ceilings. But for me, I think it's too complicated. So I have a model of mine, which I'll present to you. So this model, I call it environment bubble tea. As you see, it's bubble tea, and bubble tea is very famous in the world, I guess. And when I was a child, it started to popular in Taiwan, and it's one of my favorite. It's a drink and it's a dessert. So this bubble tea, uh, it's a metaphor. You can imagine it's a container, and inside this, we have human parts versus natural parts, and human parts will be the container, the inner parts. And the natural parts is about ocean, land, air, ozone. I'm not going to talk about too much. I think from the donut parts we know a little bit. So here I'm going to talk about what's inside this cup. Their first part is a no knowledge, and then the milk tea is the economic, and the society bubbles. It's which is are the bubbles. So first part, uncovered knowledge. I mean the no knowledge, which I concern about outer space. Maybe you think it's not part of our Earth, but I do believe that outer space is connected with our planet, and there is still some unknown species, and there is some still technology. We are still on research. So for this part, being blank means staying humble. As a human being, we should stay humble. And the next part is about economic. And the milk tea part, economic milk tea part is I want to talk about with tea or without tea. What does it mean? For economic, I think no doubt that we pursue the global economic blooming. So here I want to talk about more economic justice. So maybe in the future we want more individual, I mean self-employed, or a trust like big company, a large grouping of business interests, or between these or more diversities. Society bubbles, which we see their basic health, living needs, water, food facilities, and education, and peace, justice, safety, gender equality. Also, next step about society bubbles, we'll talk about steady income, steady job, and support by community, which means we need a group, we need to be support, we need to belong to some community. It's due to of COVID-19. After that, I started thinking about this part. And after COVID, I started to think about neutral experience, which means that if you want to talk about environmental education, environmental protection, you have to more you have to get more experience about of the nature. And finally is the self-actualization. It's the top of the Maslow theory, which is very famous. But um, do we have some disadvantages of this environmental bubble tea? So here is what I'm doubted. So what are the disadvantages? What are the problems or questions? First, society bubbles are always good. Is it never too much? I mean, society are the foundation. But if we have too many society bubbles, we have less milk tea, we have less economy. So economy versus society, how to balance? Or should it have less blank, maybe not so humble, maybe trust in our human being that technology will solve everything? Finally, is the sustainability equals environment bubble tea? Is that my motto is a solution? Is sustainability a solution? How to balance? It's good to think or do for every day. And that's my presentation. Thank you.